just get a deal done, please. Sports Final and focus tonight is the ongoing stalemate in Major League Baseball between owners and players. I recently had a chance to sit down and talk with Dodger great Steve Garvey to talk baseball as well as dealing with the league strikes and his storied career. You have been part of a couple of work stoppages in your career. How did you actually have to handle that, and what process did you go through?
So in 1970 and then 72, and periodically we would have work stoppages or maybe not a full spring training. So we were baptized to learn how to prepare. And then in 1981, we had the long strike and lockout of 6 weeks. And so it was a longer period of time of trying to manage yourself in the middle of a season for an unknowing end. And I think that's the biggest problem in all of sports now with the athletes, is not knowing when the end is and having to really push yourself on a daily basis to make sure that you're ready to get in game shape as soon as possible.
Obviously, there's no set clear date. If there's going to be an opening day, when there's going to be an opening day, how does a player actually go into an unknown situation and have to mentally get prepared?
If I was a pitcher, sending me different videos on opposing hitters. If I was a hitter, showing me facing different teams and different pitchers so that I could spend a certain amount of time each day of keeping myself in the game. And I think that's the bottom line, to keep your mind in the game, to anticipate when that phone call comes saying, okay, we're going to have X number of days to get to prepared for however long the season's going to be. So be ready for that.
Your message to Dodger fans, they don't know, sports fans don't know when the season's going to get started again.
Well, have faith. Carry on a daily basis for when the time comes. And the future looks exceptionally bright. I spent 5 days in spring training with the team, and Dave asked me to speak to the team in the clubhouse one day. And a couple of years ago, I talked about you should feel something when you put the Dodger uniform on. And a career is a blink of the eye. This time I talked about being humble in life. Because at any time, anything can happen to change our lives, and it has. The other thing I said to the guys too was, be smart. Don't assume anything. Be prepared for the first pitch of the game when the time comes again, or just for getting back to life as we see it, as normalcy.
That was a good time with Steve Garvey. You've known him for years.
Forever.
Forever, Hartman.
One of my all-time favorites. The guy should be in the Hall of Fame. It's absolutely ridiculous that Steve Garvey's not in the Hall of Fame.
That is crazy when you think about it.
I mean, the modern analytics have dismissed him as like, I know what I saw, okay? He was one of the dominant players of his era.
All right, let's talk about Major League Baseball and their problems right now, not getting a deal done. They're going back. It's like buying a car. You're in, you're out. I want this deal. I don't want this deal. The owners come back with a deal. The players come back with a deal. Nobody can actually figure it out.
Well, it's amazing to see Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, talking about, this is really a bad thing for baseball. You're the commissioner, do something about it. I knew in midweek. See, the players last Monday said when and where. Just enough negotiating. Just tell us when and where we'll show up. And they expected to get a 48-game schedule with prorated salaries for the full 48 games. What did the owners do? They said, well, we'll give you 60 games prorated. Players are like, wow. We thought you'd give us 48, but if you're going to give us 60, how about 70? So the owners are like, wait a second, what happened to when and where? So now they rejected the 70. We go back to 60. I don't know what's going to happen here, but how about this? According to the latest agreement, they say that they're opening spring training this coming Friday. Oh, and by the way, both Florida and Arizona spring training facilities have been shut down due to outbreaks of COVID-19. Yeah, baseball has got big problems because, as you mentioned, even if they get an agreement on the finances, how exactly are they going to play the games? Where are these games going to be played? Are they going to be played in an empty Dodger Stadium, empty Angel Stadium, empty stadiums around baseball? Are you going to be in a bubble? None of this has even been discussed. So we got a long way to go before we have any true picture on whether we'll have baseball in 2020.
And Hartman, I'm really beginning to actually think that baseball players maybe just don't want to play during the pandemic. They were outspoken earlier about this situation against being away from family. So it seems like right now maybe they just don't want to play. and not taking a vote on the owner's latest proposal as they wait on recent positive tests concerning COVID-19. A handful of players in the league, they maybe just don't want to play. So I'm leaning the way they really might want to just forego this season. If baseball, though, does not come back, guys, it could be the beginning of the end with the CBA up after next year. There might not be baseball for 2 years. 2 years. It's possible, Hartman. Now, Rob Manfred, I had him live on our air, KTLA, right?
Yeah.
You know what this hat represents? The All-Star game that was supposed to be played at Dodger Stadium this year, Hartman. How many hats out there are like this?
I don't have one of those hats.
Not many, right?
That is a collector's item. The never to be played 2020 All-Star game at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Good-looking hat.
Rob Manfred, he gave it to me. But Rob Manfred, you got to get the deal done.
Can you
here.
wear the mask with the hat?
At the end of the show, we could do that. All right, another impact owners are having on the game is shortening of the Major League Baseball draft. Traditionally, the event is 40 rounds, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's just 5 rounds. It happened the last couple weeks ago. Some of the top players in the game today were not all early round selections. Here are some of the notable names. Albert Pujols was selected in the 13th round, last year's Cy Young Award winner. Jacob deGrom was selected in the 9th round. J.D. Martinez, a 20th round selection. Jock Peterson, an 11th rounder. So the impact of this year's shortened draft, Hartman, certainly is quite interesting.
Well, the biggest impact about a shortened draft is very simple. Money. Because the deal was, after the first 5 rounds, anyone you select after that point, you only give them $20,000. $20,000? Are you kidding me? So, look, this is cost saving. Teams are folding up their minor league franchises. Is this going to be a positive for future of baseball? No, because basically you're taking away player development. By the way, Mike Piazza was a 62nd round draft pick of the Dodgers, went on to a Hall of Fame career. So, yeah, this is just one more bad decision by baseball, and there have been plenty of them recently.
You know who really benefits from all this? College next year.
Yeah.
Right? All right, we got a quick break here. Hartman, there's your gift. Father's Day gift. We're going to open that for him. We're going to be back right after this on the Ford Sports Final.
Social distancing. I can't get to it.
Yeah, you're right. Stay far apart. Final break. We're going to tell you a whole bunch more. We're going to look at the National Hockey League. We're also talking about the great smiles of the Kings. Drew Doughty's coming up.